Welcome everybody back to the Sunday Showdown this week. This week, we're talking San Francisco 49er football. Dion, let's go, man. What you think about last year? What's going on? Hey, what the heck is the name of this podcast right now?
I'm glad Lamar gave me the name for this. So we're going to do Fool's Goal or Real Goal, what the Niners were in 2025. We had an up and down season. We had one of the easiest schedules because we finished fourth place the year before. We're similar to the Patriots, beating all the garbage teams and playing like crap-ola against the good teams. This is a weird season because before the season started, we had so much dead money that we had to pay, so we didn't make really any splashes in free agency. And this is a year for us to kind of not rebuild, but retool. And when I say retool, just pay off all that dead money so possibly have money this year. And with the Brandon Ayuk situation happening and leading to some money opening up for us this year and how well we did last year, it was a bit of a shock. We got Brock Purdy go down and Mack Jones was just like a heaven sent. You know what I'm saying? He was just amazing for us. We had every bad thing that you could think of happen to us. We lose Bosa again. We lose Fred Warner, who missed only one game his whole career. We had so many people in and out on the defensive line. I haven't seen this type of injuries. Wait a minute, I have the last 10 years. But anyways, we got a lot more to go into it, and hopefully the next year, this coming years will be pretty good for us. But who knows?
Well, I want to start off by asking you a question with somebody that's near and dear to my heart. Because he's a former Washington Redskin commander. Well, he wasn't a commander ever, but that's the name of the team now. So we'll move on. Let me stop making it about me. Trent Williams, Dion. I'm hearing lots of things. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Trade? Sign? What's going on with Trent?
Well, right now, Trent Williams is, I believe, the third highest paid tackle in the league. Tristan Wirfs is number one. And this year, he is a cap hit of $39 million. Now, he's been playing at high level since he become a Niner. And he's a godsend. He's another heaven sent that we need on O-line. When he plays, we do well. When he doesn't play, we're terrible. Okay, it's a turnstile. Ole at tackle. Me personally, it's going to sound weird and it's going to sound like off the wall, but if a team offers us, a second round pick, I wouldn't mind trading him. Okay, he's 38 years old. How much longer is he going to play? Okay, he said he wants to play into his 40s. Cool, understand that, respect that. He's still playing at a high level, but I don't want like a Trey Hendricks of what the Bengals are dealing with right now. They had a chance to trade him last year. He barely played, and now he's walking away scot-free, free agent. You got nothing for that. So I don't want it to be a situation where we hold on to him too long and he just, rides off in the sunset, and we could have got decent compensation for him. They don't plan ahead. They haven't drafted anybody to be his heir apparent because John Lynch isn't that great at drafting in the first round. We'll talk about it later, hopefully. But, with his situation and the fact that it's going to factor his age and if he can stay healthy, it's weird right now. It's weird.
Well, I said, go ahead.
Healthy age, the age that he is of being healthy, and bro, the San Francisco 49ers and their health woes, right? You had to think about the conspiracy theories. I wish I had some foil to put on my head, with the EMF and the electromagnetic fields around you guys' field is causing you guys soft tissue injuries. And then even one of these things that people don't really tend to look at is that I think this year the San Francisco 49ers are going to set a record for how far they travel this year. Yep. They're going to Australia. They're going all over. They're going to, I think it says 38,000 miles they're going to travel. These guys don't have no chance to rest. You got guys like Trent Williams, who's an older guy. And then you guys had a plethora of severe injuries. Not, oh man, he had a hangnail. You guys have had some serious injuries, man. What's your thoughts? Is it the field? Is it the travel? Do you guys need to get a new strength and conditioning coach? Do you guys need to get younger? What is it?
So one, yes, on the strength and conditioning coach. This is a hockey guy. He's been there since the Shanahan regime has got there. So I do think the strength and conditioning coach, because other players have said it's been a little bit unorthodox. It's not as normal to the football standards. So yes, I do agree on the strength and conditioning coach. Now the substation, I agree with what CMC said. If something can stop me from being a high level athlete, whether it be 1% to 5 to 50%, it definitely needs to be looked at, because this is the body is what their bodies are, what makes them money, what makes a team do well. So if something is hindering their body, obviously it should get up out of there. Now, to play devil's advocate, people throw in Fred Warner's injury with everyone else. The substation, they say that's all soft tissue stuff. Fred Warner broke and dislocated his ankle in Tampa Bay, which, that's just a freak accident, and he trains in off season on our facility right next to that substation. So he doesn't believe in it. And this man's only missed one game his whole career. So for someone that durable, he's like, no, I think it's hogwash. But you are right. There something does need to be done with that substation, because if it is causing injuries for some people, we gotta do something about that. And we need to just revamp our whole training staff and get somebody new in there and get these boys up to snuff. Because you look at somebody like Ricky Pearsall, our wide receiver drafted in the first round. This guy's been hurt 2 years in a row. Not blaming him getting the shot, but look at it's affecting us offensively. So
let's move into the wide receivers now, because it seems like you may be losing a few this coming off season. What do you think the plans are there?
Yeah, first and foremost, elephant in the room, Brandon Ayuk.
Dang,
his situation just pisses me off to no ends, because you have a guy that wanted to get paid. Yes, he was wide open when we played against the Chiefs in Super Bowl in overtime. But our guard at the time missed his block, went the wrong way and left Chris Jones wide open to run at Purdy. He just had to throw the ball away, but it would have been a touchdown because he shook McDuffie out of his cleats. Now, with that being said, Ayuk gets paid when we had a deal from Cleveland for Amari Cooper in the second round. He said he didn't want to go. We honor that. We had a deal to send him to the Patriots to make a lot of money. He didn't want to go to the Patriots. We honor that. Right before he signed, they were about to send him to Pittsburgh for what's his name? The guy who went to Dallas. It was going to be a wide receiver for wide receiver. Pickens. That was going to happen, but they signed him. He got his money. We overpaid for him. And he's been crap. He had the terrible knee injury, and then now he's acting like he wants to play for you guys, the Commanders, and disrespecting the team and everybody. So it's like, but I'm just glad we get to void his contract. He hasn't been in it. Shanahan hasn't seen him since like week 4 or 5 or something like that. So we get money back on that, which is great. Ricky Pearsall, we drafted him. Man can't stay healthy. He has talent, just can't stay healthy. We drafted what's his name? Watson Watson from Ole Miss. He couldn't get on the field. Shanahan does not like to play rookies for some weird reason on the offensive side. So it's just we have no speed at receiver. That's our problem. Nobody can get separation. So hopefully we can get a playmaker. They'll talk about getting Mike Evans since we're losing Jawan Jennings, which I do not want. I like Mike Evans, Hall of Famer, but unless he's going to take over the role of just third and Jawan, which we use Jawan Jennings for, I don't really see a need for that. I wouldn't be adverse to trading Ricky Pearsall for either Brian Thomas, send him to Florida, get those two guys a brand new start somewhere else, or sending him to Minnesota for Addison. I wouldn't mind having that.
Do you take a shot at the Cheetah, who's coming off that devastating injury, and also Stefon Diggs, who just was recently released? Would you want one of those guys to come in there to kind of help your team out?
Diggs, no. Cheetah, yes.
Okay.
Before the low, because he's coming off that injury. I think we can get him for market value. I'm saying market value like he's a crab cake, but what I'm saying.
Right. And who did you say was the first team that offered Amari? Who was that?
Cleveland.
So
yeah.
Speaking of Cleveland, the Cleveland Browns had a player on their team that had more sacks than you guys' entire fucking team, right? And by himself. So can you please tell us, how in the hell are you guys gonna do something about that pass rush, man? I mean, come on, Dion. Gotta talk to me about that.
Here's the thing. We lose Bosa, all right? We
Yes.
lose 11th pick overall, Mack Williams out of Georgia, who was doing well. He was playing, but Mack, he's not really a pass rusher from the outside. Interior pass rusher, he was doing well. He's very good at containing the run, you know what I'm saying, on the outside as an end.
Yes, very
So
strong run
I
supporter.
love the potential out of him. We brought in Bryce Huff from Philly. We had to play him a lot more than he expected to play. You know what I'm saying? He expected to be on the other side of Bosa, getting third down pass rusher, slide Mack Williams inside. We drafted Alfred Collins, a big boy out of Texas, defensive tackle. He played very well. We always got we got West out of Indiana, another defensive tackle. He played pretty well. So, you know, we were very young up front. We had a lot of injuries up front on the defensive side. You know, the fact that we were starting two linebackers in the playoffs that were on the team for less than a month. You know, we were down to our fifth and fourth string linebackers, and it's just a conglomerate of just injuries on our side, and having no consistency up front with the front four, even the front seven. You know, I saw one quarterback back there. He was playing Connect Four with his OC. You know what I'm saying? They just had the thing. They're just dropping it in there. Like, oh, you're going to go there? Oh, someone's rushing. Move to the side. Like, it was crazy how much time each quarterback had back there when I watched the team. And, you know, Peach knows how I am when I watch my Niners. That's why I don't go out in public, you know? I mean, I like to fold clothes when I watch football, okay? And when I fold my socks, you would thought I was John Elway because I will chuck these bad boys across the room every time something bad happens. And it looked like it was a damn my dog had a slumber party with all my clothes. They're all over the place.
You know, so what you're saying is if your clothes are nice and folded and in your drawer, that means the 49ers won that weekend.
Yes, that
had
is
a good
true.
week.
That is true. That means I went, put them up. But if it's all like that, you know, that's how it be sometimes. But yeah, we need to put a bow on this terrible present would be we need to get a pass rush. We need to draft somebody, slide Michael Williams inside, and hopefully get another D tackle, either in draft or free agency to help us out.
Well, I'm going to say this. You mentioned that you felt that the 49ers were kind of like the Patriots this year because the easy schedule. I wiped that away because of your injuries. I think it was way more impressive with what you guys did in a way tougher division. So we'll move on from there. Now let's talk about GM John Lynch, guys. I think he's a top 10 GM. But what is the problem? You have two GMs in your division that are probably top 5.
Oh, yeah.
So that makes it a little tough on him. So what are your thoughts on John Lynch, and what do you think he's going to do to fix this team this offseason?
Well, on the outside, looks like John Lynch does great things. And I like John Lynch as a person, as a motivator, as a I know similar to Lamar talks about like Raheem Morris. You know, I know Lamar rags on Radio Raheem, but like your coach and Raheem, they're players coach. You know what I'm saying? The players love them. And I'm happy that he's our DC now, that he can just focus on that and not do anything else. Him and Shanahan go way back years ago. And the thing with John Lynch is that he's done too many reaches in the first round for me to, you know, put him up there because yes, we found Kittle late in the draft. He found Warner on day 3, but he also traded swapped first round, trade 2 first round picks for Trey Lance. You know, he also we drafted Kinlaw, who had knee issues coming from college when Tristan Wirfs was right there. You know, I'm not gonna say the Brandon Ayuk pick was bad because me personally, I wanted Henry Ruggs, but we got Ayuk, and I thought he was, you know, in that Jerry Jeudy that year, he was a first rounder, same year as Kinlaw. You know, so he drafted Reuben Foster first round also. So there's been a lot of misses. He does not do well in the first 2 rounds. Drake Jackson, we had no first round. We picked Drake Jackson in the second round, you know, out of USC. Where's he now? You know, he's with the Commanders, you know. But for one of those, we'll get a diamond in the rough like Hufanga or Dre Greenlaw, you know. So it's weird.
How has he been in free agency? Has he at least, I mean, some guys don't draft well, but they actually get good guys that come in through free agency. So is he here and here, or is he both?
Shockingly weird stat someone said, which I thought was wild. In the last, I'm not sure how many years, the number 1 spender in free agency are the Browns. And that's because of the Deshaun Watson deal and how much they paid for Myles Garrett. And we're number 2 of all the money we spent as free agency in the last, I guess, I don't know how many years, maybe 6 or 7 years or whatever. So We'll spend the money sometimes, but it could be for like a Javon Hargrave and not worth anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, we paid Travaris Ward, who did well as a cornerback, but, I feel we overpaid for Eric Armstead and let DeForest Buckner, the better player, go. So there's just been some things just inconsistent of what John Lynch does. And I like John Lynch, but it's just that this motherfucker can't draft in the first round. I mean, they like to ignore the offensive line. It just pisses me off, man. Just God, come on.
Well, as far as you guys' offensive line is concerned, you guys do have one of the best guys to help out with that offensive line and running that zone offensive line, which is Kyle Shanahan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and I know those two came to the 49ers together in a package deal. And Dion, you know how I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've told you for years now, I will never cheer for Kyle Shanahan to win a Super Bowl because what he did to my Atlanta Falcons when Julio Jones caught that amazing pass at the 22-yard line, and you're going to fucking pass the ball 3 fucking times in a row to get that field goal range and lose that game. So, with that being said, the Super Bowls that you guys have lost with Kyle Shanahan, and there was talk this year about Kyle Shanahan. Is Kyle Shanahan, with all the things he's done, deep playoff runs, Super Bowl pushes, is Kyle Shanahan in 2026 on the NFL hot seat for coaches?
Personally, I'd say no. Because if I say yes, the counter argument would be he should have been up there for coach of the year for making chicken salad out of chicken shit with all the injuries we had this year. But that does not
every year.
Well, the only year we didn't have that many injuries was 2023 when we played the Chiefs the second time, and he decides to get the ball first in overtime in Super Bowl. But even in that Super Bowl, we lose Dre Greenlaw to Achilles injury out of nowhere, and who had Travis Kelce in check, and then we had put Oren Burks in there on Kelce, and Kelce for the rest of the game went 9 for 9. You know what I'm saying? So Cal is just a product of by far terrible luck. Every year after when he lost the Super Bowl, that year we lost everybody to injury. Like that's when we lost Bosa and Raheem Morstead. Both of them torn ACL against the Giants that year at MetLife. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you can't. It's not really the coaching. It's just the situation, circumstances that have him to where he is. Because you can look at somebody like McDermott. McDermott was on the hot seat because they couldn't get over the hump. What was their excuse for not getting over the hump? Mahomes.
That they were playing about, yeah.
But that's it. It was not like they had a mass injury across the offensive line, defensive line. Josh Allen goes down. You know what I'm saying? We only know Brock Purdy because Garoppolo got hurt. Trey Lance got hurt. That's the only reason how we know Brock Purdy. So other coaches, I don't think other coaches have dealt with this type of injuries and still progressing and making your team, get to that next level. We went to the NFC Championship game with Brock Purdy going 6-0 in the regular season, and his only loss was the NFC Championship game when he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? As a rookie, as a last pick of the draft. So you got those things have to weigh in when you think him being on the hot seat, because I can't name another coach who brought besides Belichick and we all know the greatness of Tom Brady, but name another 7th round quarterback who or picked last or whatever who's done what Brock's done. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard.
Go ahead.
I'm saying it's just kind of hard. I get putting him on a hot seat. I totally understand that. I'm not trying to white knight it, but I got to use logic with it too. So I'm going to say nah.
And I'm going to say this. I agree with you with all your points, and you're the expert here with the 49ers. But does there come a point in time where if you don't win the Super Bowl, it's time to move on, like Andy Reid in Philly, like McDermott in Buffalo you just brought up?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hard to say the hot seat now, right? Because all the coaching hires already happened. Who are you going to replace him with right now? You don't.
Yeah.
And you can't just replace a guy as good as he is when you don't have anybody to replace him with now. So I know that question's hard now, but is there a point for you as a fan that if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, it's time to go no matter what?
I'll say this. He brought up a good point. He said his dad was 0-3 his first Super Bowls, and now he's 0-3. If we're lucky to get back to the Super Bowl, or a game like we played the NFC Championship game when we played the Rams, and this is Debo's, Debo was all pro this year. excuse me, and you only give Debo the ball twice in the second half, if we make to a Super Bowl and Raheem Moore said, just ran 220-some yards against the Packers, we get the Super Bowl, he only runs 11 times. If there's something like that happen again, you got to go. You got to go. I'm like, when you make blunders like that, if he does another blunder like that to get us over the hump or get close to the promised land, he got to go. I'll say that. It's just those things, as like most people don't understand that or know it or seen that stuff, but us Niner fans, we don't forget that shit. We're like, we were running the ball great and you stop running the ball. We're up by 10 points each Super Bowl and you stop doing certain things. So if that happens again, that means you're not learning. You're just still thinking you're the smartest guy in the room and, you could just do anything. But no, if that stuff happens, got to go. Up out of here.
Well, hey, Dion, a point that Shane had, Pete had brought up earlier was that with this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kittle's probably not going to play this season, right? He ruptures his Achilles tendon in the playoff game, right?
Yeah.
Good chance he's not going to play this year, right? You got a lot of wear and tear and tread on CMC. Okay, you talked about Trent Williams, Bosa and Mack Williams. This should be good to go for the season, right? So we'll go with that, right? But you guys have to play 4 games against 2 teams that were in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
It can't get any easier. And then, like I said before, with all the traveling, 38,000 miles that you guys are going to travel, this is a tough one for you, man. So, I would say, just as far as Kyle Shanahan's concerned, the 49ers would be dumb as shit to get rid of him. And as much as I hate Kyle Shanahan because of what he did to my Falcons, he's still one of the best fucking coaches in the NFL. To get rid of him would be so bad to do. But man, it's going to be a tough season this year. And then, who knows about 2027? Stay tuned for that in 2027 when we had this recap season next year. But, what are your thoughts, what I'm saying, as far as that's concerned, as far as you guys got two teams in your division who are just, oh my God.
They're the powerhouses of the NFL. I hate to say it for you, but they are it right now.
It's the toughest division. And he said it. He's like, I haven't scored a touchdown against McDonald in what 8 quarters. He literally had, this man did a double reverse just to get 1 yard against McDonald. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I put it like for Shanahan, I don't say a built-in excuse. And now we have McDuffie with the Rams. So our best receiver right now, Ricky Pearsall, is going to get no catches, So they play JSN in Jigba. They're like, you know what? We need a McDuffie on him. So who knows what the Rams are going to be as far as how tough they're going to be playing us. The same with the Seahawks, but Seahawks might lose Rick Woolen. We're looking at him. I feel Shanahan has a lot of things his place could be full of how is he going to move this offense, because CMC kind of lost a step. That you can't keep force feeding him the ball. You didn't play Jordan James, our running back from Oregon last year, but till the last game of the season, you got to find Kittle's replacement. You got to find Trent's replacement. We're going to find some speed on offense as receiver. So I think this year will be one of his best coaching attempts we've seen him by far, because the injuries are already there. Now we have to give him a plate of new scraps, and he's got to get in that kitchen and cook something up for us. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is going to be a make or break season for Shanahan to really test him, how well he can scheme to do well in our division.
Okay. Wow. Shit,
excellent, guys. And this has been a great Sunday Showdown San Francisco 49ers episode. What do you have to close it, Dion? What do you got?
This is what I got. Tune in. We're going to be back pretty soon. You'll probably see this late. If you see it late, you see it early. It doesn't matter. At least you've seen it. The Combine, free agency, we coming for y'all, okay? We're going to talk about that. Sunday Showdown is alive and kicking. Appreciate y'all. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Peace.
We out.